Hi guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Books Aside. Today I'm hanging out with the lovely Kantai. I hope you stay tuned for this amazing conversation and don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Stay tuned. Hi Kantai.
Hi Sharon.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You look lovely.
Yourself too.
Oh, thank you.
And congratulations on the whole YouTube channel thing. You're doing amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're doing well.
I'm so glad that you honored us to have this conversation. And I just want to, I know I've already introduced you, but I want you to introduce yourself and let us know what you do.
Well, my name is Naserian Kantai. I'm a creative. I would say I'm a creative.
Okay.
So a lot of things under that umbrella. So yes.
Okay. Like you do all sorts of things that would call creative.
Yes.
Is that like the line of work or is now the business?
Everything. I would say every thought put forward to generate income or whatever, it's usually from a creative point of view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I stem from.
All right.
So I'd like to refer to myself as like innovator, someone who thinks about creating new spaces, new things, providing solutions to problems you need to see. Yeah, so generally stemming from creativity and innovation.
Okay. Actually, you are the kind of people that we need right now, as in taking advantage of everything that is happening, the digital world and all that.
Yeah.
So tell me, we went to school together.
Yeah.
Now I understand you have a certain business that you're doing.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us exactly how the journey has been from schooling and then to
transitioning
right
to Well, okay, if I may start from school.
Okay.
We were together at Moise. Essentially, we came from communications. Yeah. That's where we stemmed from.
Yes.
Coming from Moi or any other public university in Kenya, your mindset is, I'm stepping out of here. I'm looking for that job, which has purposely brought me here to study so that I can get out of school and get that job, essentially.
Which is just in line to what I've
been studying for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
So that was my thought at first when I was in campus. You remember when in campus in 4 years, everyone is trying to figure out their thoughts.
Yeah, that's true.
And trying to find their solid ground. And what am I good at? What am I not good at? What can I develop myself from? etc.
Yes.
So somehow innately, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. Somehow I knew I was going to run something. I don't know what it was, but I always knew that I was going to do something that is entirely me running it. Well, of course, I did not cancel thoughts of employment. Of course, that is essentially needed for experience, etc.
True, yeah.
But I always knew that innately I'm going to do something. I'm going to run something. I'm going to create a certain space to do something. I don't know what that was.
Something of your own.
Of my own. Yeah. Something from my own thoughts and seeing it established or grow. Yeah. So that's what I had thoughts when I was in Campo. So I remember in Campo when we graduated and then of course we are thrown into the hustle world.
I know.
It was it was tough.
It was tough. Trying to transition to that, just coming to terms that, okay, jobs, hakuna.
Yes. And somehow, coming to that realization that there are 13,000 of you or 50,000 of you knocking the same doors.
Yeah. The same opportunities.
So the competition is pretty much high. So it was really tough hustling for those jobs and knocking doors. Trying to introduce yourself and telling people this is what I can do, even when you have not even mastered exactly what you can do. It was really tough. So when I finished Campo, I started doing gigs for photography, etc. So I was a freelance corporate photographer and also events photography. I did that for I think 3 months after we graduated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
From then, how did you get into now the business side of you progressing?
I would take it back to where the thought came in. Yeah. In that period of time, I was hustling in the streets, corporate photography, trying to position myself as a creative, etc. I was at home. I remember I was babysitting my niece. And then, I don't know, let me tell you, I don't know from where this thought came. Like, from the time I was in campus, like, I was always a creative when it comes to things matter hair. That was my thing. That was my thing. But then, I always knew that the only way I can advance my thoughts around hair care, body care, and etc. was experimenting on products, experimenting on ingredients, and then creating things and using it on myself, and then sharing the knowledge
of what you've discovered.
Yes, online for people to learn how to manage themselves and their hair, etc. That was the limit of my thoughts at a time. And then I remember there was this time I was babysitting my niece, and then this thought clicked me. Like, you have this much knowledge you have shared with people on helping them how to create their own hair care routine.
You used to share it on
YouTube. Yeah. And with anyone, I meet anyone, I'm like, hold on, I will send you on WhatsApp at least of what to buy, how to use it, when to use it, and your hair will get better or whatever. I used to do that.
So you even sent me such.
Yeah. And then, so I was like, I have this knowledge on how to make people better, their image better. So why don't I produce something and give it to them that will help them? That was the first time the thought came to my mind around, I think, October. The first time was October 2018.
Yes.
Before we graduated. That was the first time it clicked. Like, the thought was, I would say,
was just playing in your mind. Like, you should
but it was like revealed to me at that time. But me doing it, actualizing the thought was in January, right after we graduated. That's what I that's when I actualized the thought and began getting comfortable with that thought. You know, sometimes you have these thoughts. And you can subconsciously throw them under the rag.
Yeah, or even you talk yourself out of it because you're afraid of what will happen next.
Yes. And then now, it might keep poking, you know, insisting until you're like, okay, I think this is something I should address. This is something I should look into. So that's what happened to me.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Let me take you back. I think I saw something to do with, did you do a hair-related article on my paper?
On our project in campus.
Yes.
Well, in 2018.
You did something of that sort that is related to hair.
Well, the initial thought around my project was to have kind of like an analysis of the Black Panther when it came out in regards to Black people and their perception of their hair. You know, some people don't think hair is such an important topic, but it is. It is. The roots run deep. So that was my initial thoughts around the film. So I wanted to bring it into fruition and have a project around it because the film was booming at that time. So when I started my project supervisor, Dr. Omanga, I realized the thoughts are bigger than that. So my fourth year project was around Black people, Black consciousness, and how Black people are now coming into becoming conscious about themselves and their power as Black people in this universe, of course, etc. But mostly stemming from how they appreciate themselves, and that is hair. If you look at Black people, the most undermined thing about ourselves is not only the skin but also the hair. Somehow Black people across the globe are uncomfortable with what they have. There are so many things.
And they're just trying to find ways to like cope and be like other people.
When essentially there's nothing hard or nothing to say I'm coping through my skin or my hair. You know, there's nothing as such. It's just a miseducation around how we should be as ourselves. So my fourth year project was around essentially that.
I was bringing it up because I was like, it means that kitambo, from just way kitambo, you had interest in hair. It's just, mpaka uka consider that you can do a project around that. How do you even go about creating this product? The raw materials, you will be able to be comfortably sharing it.
Well, okay.
The idea behind
So I would say my project, I don't know if it's to call a project or company, it's called the Serikali Enterprise.
Yes.
Well, it's a registered business. And Serikali is derived from, the name Serikali is derived from a Maasai name called Oserkele, which is the black rhino. It's I would say an ancient Maasai name for the black rhino. The reason why I chose this name was because I wanted to identify or relate our state of being to something in nature. So the black rhino is usually, aside from it becoming almost instinct, is usually a rather misunderstood animal. It's called aggressive, it's called tough, it's called tempered, it's called quick, it's called so many things. But really, if you grew up almost close to the wild or in the wild, you'll come to understand that it's a very gentle being, quite emotional by itself, you know. So that's how I look at African hair. Like people say African hair is tough, African hair is hard to manage. African hair, you know, it needs more heat, more texturizers, it's more chemicals. But really it's the most gentle and most sensitive type of hair on the planet. It needs more care, more nourishing, and more attention to it. So that's how I related the name of Serikali to the African hair. Hence Serikali Naturals. And then now how I came to identify what kind of products I should bring to the platform was it's just what I used to make for myself in my own space. It's what I just brought on the table. While I was in campus, I used to experiment on so many things. Like I knew I cannot use some of the products being sold on commercial stores and etc. Like you could read the ingredients and like ayapana. Even if I don't know much about this doesn't sound right. And then I remember being online in campus, and then I was looking for ways to manage my natural hair without me having to check into the salon etc. And then I bumped into a YouTuber. Her name is Kali Proverbs. So she does everything Ayurvedic, and not only Ayurvedic, but she infuses natural ingredients to bring kind of create portions and whatever that suit a certain specific type of hair. So when I was in campus, I used to then mix certain herbs with oils etc, and then I would see the results on my hair, and I'm like, this is a great idea, I should stick to this.
Were you not so scared that it would spoil your hair?
By then there was no much risk, because if you look at the products that we would buy on commercial stores, like they were doing almost like similar damage. So I was like, if I then incorporate natural ingredients, then it won't be much of a problem as compared to myself risking just going through stores and using any kind of products. So that's how I came to realize that, well, these natural herbs are quite important. These natural herbs are quite they're necessary for the kind of hair that we have, you know. So then I started infusing them to make hair growth oil, and I used to use them on my hair, and then well, it worked in campus, it really worked. And then I would make deep conditioners with these herbs, mixing them very well, those kind of stuff. I experimented, I would say, for at least 2 years. Before then, when we graduated, then came to the field, and then I realized then this is something I can confidently do. So then I needed then to give myself a proper time to do research, to understand exactly what am I thinking, how can I formulate products that are well fitting for African hair, products that are effective and are going to work on people. It's not just mere hearsay, but really providing a solution to a problem that has really dwindled in for a long time, you know. So that's how I then proceeded to advance that thought. So through research, and unfortunately it took me very long to go through those research and kind of be comfortable with the thought that really it's Ayurveda I want to sell out. It's Ayurveda I want to infuse in these products to provide this and this solution to this and this problem.
Like, what is essentially that Ayurveda? Is it something that is commonly found? Is it something that we have a name inaweza kwa Kiswahili or something?
Well, Ayurveda is an ancient Indian practice.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So
the use of herbs to heal the mind, the body, and the soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually thought that it's a plant. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
anyway, so how is it running an online business, and then you're introducing a product that it's not really commonly known? So how is it running and running such a business?
Well, I would say it has its ups and downs. For example, I would say it's a fairly new thing.
Concept.
Yeah. Like you really have to kind of educate people even before they use it.
Yeah.
Like you have to tell them, you see, this oil is infused with this kind of herbs, and this kind of herbs they do this and this and this to give you this and this kind of result over this period of time. It's kind of telling them why. It's kind of making them understand why they should incorporate Ayurveda in their hair care routine. And educating them why the products they've been using before have not been working. You know?
And why probably this one is a better solution.
Yes. So it's been, I would say, majority of me being online has been mostly to educate the mass about Ayurveda. And then kind of seeing how people would transform their thoughts around how to manage their hair. Like I've seen people who would not even want to touch their hair. Like I would just want to go check in a salon, they wash it, they do something, cover it, I don't want to see it, you know? To someone like literally having those intentional thoughts about, now I'll wash it, style like this, and I'll proudly walk with my hair in the sun, in the wind, in the rain, as it is, without feeling like I should blow dry it, perm it, or style it, or put it under a wig or a braid, you know. So I've seen that transition happen, and I think it's quite fulfilling, you know, say.
Yeah, it has to be, because at least, even if it means that you're changing only one person, at least the words.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what are the challenges to running an online business? Yeah, because you told me you don't have any
I do not intend to have. Yes. Because I think the world has gone global. We are all online. Literally, it's a village over there. Everyone is checking what is trending, what is good and what is not good. The benefit of running a business online is that you get your customer across a region. You know, something you not have if you had a standing store.
Yes, true.
And then you'd get diverse thoughts and input and, you know, and ideas, and like your demographic is also widened. Your clientele is widened by having an online store rather than having a physical store. There are no much disadvantage except really there are no much disadvantage because it's a place that you can utilize for your own good. So of course you might get what you want. You might target to hit a certain number in the sales and you don't get it, but really it's just the necessities of an online store or running a business online. So there are no much disadvantage but more advantage, if I may say.
All right. The purpose of these videos is at least to give people ideas and to encourage people. Like, you can start with that idea that you have and go with it. So would you be able to tell us exactly, like roughly, how much did you use or do you spend to start this company